Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Tuesdays Roundtable Talk. Right here on the Knowledge is Power Podcast Live, presented by Tony. Hey man, I do want to thank all of the listeners and viewers for the expectation on every coming Tuesday that will be before you. I definitely want to let you all know that my co-host may tip in a little late, so please forgive them. We just wrapped up a meeting not too long ago, so um, give us a little time, please, please, please. But tonight, whether we're by ourselves or we with our crew, we definitely want to talk about some of the things that have gone on in the city of Beaumont. We're going to, of course, talk about some things that happened over this past weekend, including the Super Bowl. And we'll also touch a bit on what's happening on the national stage and global stage for that matter. Buckle up. We're going to definitely have a very diverse conversation on this evening. So let's kick this off right away. I hope you all were able to view, if not the football game, just the halftime show. That was presented by Apple Music. Of course, Kendrick Lamar performed at the Superdome, Holodome, New Orleans, Lexus Dome. I think it's Lexus Dome. Yeah, that you all were able to at least view the Super Bowl halftime show and were able to witness in its rarest and rawest form a rapper of time, um, that a rapper in the history of the NFL and the Super Bowl has been on the stage to perform any song, let alone in entirety. And so, of course, it's been R&B singers, it's been classical singers, it's been rock and roll singers, it's been country music singers. All different types of genres have been on the Super Bowl stage, but this was the first to ever have a rapper of America on the Super Bowl stage. So, like, my question would be to you all that are viewing and listening, have you paid attention to the messaging of Kendrick Lamar's performance? And it was messaging on several fronts. Visual messaging, um, and of course lyrical messaging. And I myself, I think pieces of it as as the show was going on. But what I did notice after the Super Bowl was how a lot of people were like, "Oh, this was the weakest show that I've ever seen." And I as a music lover, I must beg to differ. It was very engaging. Of course, if you are not a member of our community or a fan of rap and hip hop, you probably would have, yeah, it would have went completely over your head. But and there go my co-host. Look, my people right there. Look, my crew. Why? I told you my crew was coming. Now, but I definitely wanted to know, and this is what I was asking everybody, y'all. Like, have they participated in any way of viewing the Super Bowl halftime show? And if they caught the show, did they catch any of the messaging that was transpired as well? Because it happened in two, at least for me, on two fronts: visual and lyrically. And so I definitely wanted to know what was your take, and then of the overall show, and then what are some of the messages from that show that that stood out to you? Miss Ladies first.
First and foremost, good evening to everybody.
Absolutely.
Um, Artistically, I appreciated the show, and that's my thing. I'm a live theater person, anyways. So artistically, I really appreciated everything about it, and then the messaging was strong. And no, I didn't understand the lyrics, so I did have to go and Google it, and I did have to actually go and Google what the messaging was as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
And besides that, I had to call my son and ask my son to help me to
I was about
decipher
to
all
say,
of that.
did you call? Yes, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did call
Yes.
son
I
and be
called
like,
my
son,
son to
tell
help
me
me
what
to
this
decipher
means.
all that. And then,
Yes.
they're talking about it heavily on TV as well, on the different talk shows. And
Hmm.
so I was and then I was really upset with Stephen A. Smith for going in, talking about Serena was uh dissing her ex on
Hmm.
there, but when she was nowhere near that.
Right.
She was upset because she had to pay that $30,000 to Wimbledon when she did the crib walk at Wimbledon. But the white girl didn't have to pay nothing when she did that part. When she did the Cotton Eye Joe at Wimbledon, she didn't have to pay anything.
The what,
So
Miss Cat?
yeah, Stephen A. Smith should check that out, huh?
She did the white girl did the what? The Cottonmouth Joe.
The Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Cotton Eye Joe.
kicked her leg out and crossed it and kicked back out.
Yeah,
Cotton Eye Joe.
I
Yeah,
love
but
it.
but
Learn something
Wimbledon
new
didn't
here
make
every
her
day.
pay anything,
Right,
huh?
right. I say we learn something new here every day.
Right. Yeah, they talked about that today on TV. So
Mm.
yeah, but
Well,
I am going to continue to explore his lyrics because
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
I I was made aware that he is a Pulitzer Prize winner. So that's also my thing I like to read as well. So
Yes,
yeah, I want to go and
yes,
see what the whole messaging was so I can understand
yeah,
everything all together.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I'm glad you reached out to a, you know what I'm saying, not just your son, but from someone of the younger diaspora that could explain it to you, right? And that's
Right.
one of the things we definitely need more of when it comes to engagement and in enlightenment, because you have information that happened in your time and I have information that happened in my time. We put that together and then we're running, we're running in smooth sailing.
Exactly.
But I totally agree, Miss Cat. The messaging was on point, on point.
Especially the white, the red, white, and blue, how they just stayed on him the whole time he doing his show. And I didn't get that at first. Yeah, but Whitey is all over us all. Oh, am I saying that right?
You said that right.
Okay,
You
yeah,
said
they
that.
are
You said that
all over
right.
us all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now
Hmm.
I'm still gotta figure out what the movements were. You know,
Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. A
gonna work
lot of
on that.
messaging. A lot of messaging. Period. What you
Yeah.
notice? Period.
Come
Okay.
on,
I see
Pierre.
it. I
Don't
see it.
laugh
I
at me.
always enjoy hearing Cat. I always let Cat going first.
I
Yeah,
know,
y'all
right?
always throw me
But
out there, but I'm all right with that. I ain't never scared.
We be geeked up too, right? That part
that's
for
why I was like,
sure.
go ahead. You're PK, so go ahead.
Let me find out. We should have called this the table of PKs.
I know, huh?
Right, for real.
Cause Stucky is a PK too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Right,
Oh,
everybody that
right.
he
Stucky is
know. I
PKs.
know. Yeah, we was on that front bench together.
Come on, this being time. I know that's right.
Right. But I agree with a lot of what Kat says. I I knew of Kendrick Lamar before the Super Bowl and was aware of his music and had listened to his music, although I probably couldn't quote the title or but I know the
Understood.
sound and I know the songs and so
Right.
and that was long before Not Like Us. Um,
Right, right, right,
but
right.
just to see what was initially just considered a public rap battle,
Hmm,
dating back to some nostalgic days, to see how that propelled into the national mainstream media. Um, it's just remarkable and speaks really to the creative genius of Kendrick Lamar, and and I don't proclaim to be uh, a rap. Uh, won't say a rap. I'm a rap fan, but I'm not the, as they say, the subject matter expert of rap. But but I do know that there are different levels of rap,
Mhm.
and I do know that Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole speak to a different
Yes,
level of consciousness in rap
yes,
among
yes.
uh I won't just say our young people, but among of our young people to middle-aged people to those who are just great fans of rap. Uh, these young men defy uh, what has been the public, uh, the you know, when you look at the music industry, they are pushing definitely a style, a genre, a message, and the fact that because J. Cole really doesn't get much wide play, and Kendrick, because of this,
Yeah,
began
yeah.
to get a little wide play. You have
Right,
to know
right.
some of that background to even understand the enormity, as you said, on this center stage. I know we can go back to
Hmm,
Snoop and Dre, but
hmm.
by the time they came on the stage, that genre rap is now the background music of commercials. So we're not gonna
Right,
consider that. You know,
right.
somehow gangster rap has now turned into a good background song product now. So again, that goes back to main message about rap is that if you're gonna really
They
follow
not
it,
like
then you need to
us.
turn off this TV because they selling you some BS.
Yes, yes,
They
Right.
not like
yes.
us.
But yeah, but then the ongoing conversation that has erupted, while not surprising, uh, it is somewhat disheartening among our people, and uh, I will go so far as really to say among my peers, those of us who have now gained this title called elders, to see some of the response among elders. Uh, as Kat said, hey, I didn't understand it, so I started asking questions. And I went to subject matter experts to understand. But what I've seen among elders was a lot of critique and not a lot of questions of asking, well, what was it that I missed? And it comes at a critical time. Again, I mean, we're getting, especially in Beaumont, we're getting ready for an election season, and we don't want to address this wide gap of our elders being very dismissive of the new
Hmm.
upcoming voices of our youth. and it will be to our peril. And I'm gonna just stop it at that because that's really what
I like the
this
way,
has really come to. I mean,
yeah,
we want to
I
critique
like the way
without
you put that.
understanding what new voices were saying, and this is not new. Like I said, uh, I recall a young Kendrick Lamar being held before the Sanhedrin Council, and people said, "Well, give us this rapper called Barabbas."
Come on now.
And while would rather say that those people were being foolish, we looking at the lineage and the pedigree of those same people living in our midst.
You sure right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I totally want folks to understand that, like you all said, as our elders, I mean, I may have gray hair, but it's not because I'm considered an elder. At least I don't think I'm an elder. But I
Not
might
you. You feel
not
it.
yet. Right, right, right. So, but um, when it comes to um breaking things down for us to understand, we anticipated and totally depended on our now elders, right? When it came to chastisement and understanding right from wrong, we depended on our elders. And so one of the things that, like Miss Cat said initially, that I found to be phenomenal was that although she did not know the entirety of what was being said and or done, she took it upon herself to find out and included
Right,
somebody that's not of her age group, right? And so that was phenomenal to see. Many others, like Miss Cat, want to know what the hype was. You know what I'm saying? Golly, what's the hype? Can I mean, like, I've heard this song before, but what's the hype? What's I mean, like, and
right,
and again, symbolism, uh a lot of the symbolism and imagery in the entire in the entire show was, I mean, like, you had to really be on it, right? um Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle
Because I
Sam.
had to go back and watch it again.
Yes. I mean, like, understanding not only Samuel L. Jackson, but what was coming out of his mouth,
Mouth.
right?
That's
right,
right.
um because we as blacks, we would see Uncle Sam and would never think of a black person that's saying some of the same things to you, right?
right,
But now you have Uncle Sam, who also played in Django.
right,
So you got to mix that, you feel me?
right,
And so, like, and it's a lot of people that missed it. And so I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, I
right.
see what you're saying. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
when the Black Uncle Sam comes out, and like you said, Miss Cat, all the all the white is around you most of the time. And when you are in the blue and the red, it's, oh, you got to tone that shit down,
right,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So the
mean, and
symbol
some
of
of
it
But
was
but the whole
phenomenal.
gist was we always have to show up. We always
right,
got to be better.
Yeah,
Always.
right,
yeah.
right. I guess what made it so uh uh engaging for me, because I've had to go back and see it again as I've learned more. I mean, just some of the subtle imagery that could be
Yes.
easily overlooked. To the fact that they were
Yes.
doing this within a prison cell, that
That was that
so
that was
easily
made to be a
bypass
game,
people.
a game
Right.
controller.
Right. It was
Right?
a
Yeah.
PlayStation
My
controller.
daughter helped me understand just from the from the intro of seeing the young men coming out of that old cutlass. That was a LA shout out Kendrick was doing to the essays to understand that that's how they roll. Because only if you're in LA do you understand this great rift between Latinos and African Americans, and him trying to create that bridge to say, we see you, we understand, we
Right,
roll the
right,
same way.
right,
Just
right.
just subtle, nothing in your face, but yet everything right there for you to
In
to
your face.
grasp.
Oh
He
man,
served the whole 13 minutes he served.
I totally
Okay.
agree.
Hmm.
And you really have to, as I am going to do, go in and Google all of his lyrics just so that I can understand everything.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
As
I,
I
I
think
as
it was
as
a
I
really good
said,
choice for the black city, even though they were saying that he was not the choice for the Super Bowl for this year. That
oh, okay, yeah,
the
yeah.
guy that was from New Orleans should have been, what was his name?
Lil
Lil
Wayne,
Wayne.
Lil Wayne,
Lil Wayne
Weezy.
should have been the one. But being that um, Kendrick Lamar could do prolific adoration and then put it way over their head and then artistically do it,
Yeah,
it was profound. It was beautiful.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I
very
like
profound.
Weezy. No disrespect to Weezy. I just felt like
Right.
it was providential that
Indeed.
he was the person for this stage at this
For this
moment,
moment. Hmm.
I totally
for this
agree.
moment.
I totally agree. It was, I mean, not to mention what brought us to this, or what we went through that brought us to this particular date, right?
Hmm.
Um, and for the life of me, I didn't hear no beef until he called the person out, and then that was it. That was the end of the beef that I heard. You know what I'm saying? But everything else was imagery for the taking. Everything else
And he
was
did it without
knowledge for the
cursing.
taking. Right.
He did it in a family way. Oh my gosh.
Man, I'm talking about it was a lot of bleeps. I promise if you go listen to the original,
If you go
you'll
listen
be
to the
like, oh,
original, but
okay.
he didn't do any of them.
Right. Right. Right.
He made
Right.
it
I totally
family
agree.
friendly.
It
I'ma
very
serve
was.
all
Very much
y'all
so
from the
was.
lowest to the highest, from two
Right.
to 92. I'ma serve you.
And it and I heard a few people on social media that was like, this was so over the heads of many individuals that was actually at the game. But we have to understand something, y'all. Um, a lot of us did not go to the game. A lot of us went to New Orleans, but
Hmm.
a lot of us didn't go to the game.
Right.
A lot of us chose not to participate in the games.
Right.
And so at the end of the show that Kendrick Lamar of his session, he said, "Turn the TV off, turn the TV off, turn the
Mm.
TV off, turn the TV off." Then he
Yes.
did
Hmm.
like this, and he said, "Turn the TV off." And in the background, you saw "Game Over."
Okay.
What I did at that moment was followed instructions. I turned my TV off because you will not get any more ratings from me. You will not get any more ratings from my household. You will not get any more ratings from my internet feed. You will not get any more ratings from my. You not get nothing from me
Hmm.
because, like I said, I knew going into the game that I was not. I wasn't going to participate in watching the
Yeah.
game
Hmm.
because not because as y'all
Yeah.
see I'm a Skins fan, not because my we were supposed to be there, not that's not why, but the symbolism in the players or the teams that was there as well. I don't know if anybody took notice in that type of symbolism. Eagles and Chiefs,
Hmm.
Eagles and Chiefs. One more
Hmm.
time for those that's gonna miss
Hmm.
it. Eagles
Ah.
and Chiefs.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
cheese.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Very epic
Wow.
game though. Very, very epic. Very epic
Yeah. No.
halftime show.
Mm.
I
Mm.
will
Mm.
definitely tip my hat, salute. I mean, cut a jig to the message that I received on
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday
Right.
during the Super Bowl
Right.
show halftime show by Kendrick
Right.
Lamar. If we could for
Right.
a second,
And
go
and
ahead.
and a hats off to Jay Z for his role in being the one to help bridge
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Uh, since the NFL has named him as the consultant of halftime shows, so we saluted him when he did the Dr. Dre. We saluted him last year with Usher. Give him his proper dues
I totally agree.
in being
I
able
agree.
to understand that we've got to, you know, and again, though we love those because they were so retro and it spoke to this older generation. For him to say snap with that, we got to listen to some young voices.
Right,
It
right.
challenges us as olders, because I've heard some older folks say, well, they could have done Peebo, they could have done. And I'm like,
Peebo
I don't, man, I love the
Bryson.
OJs. I love people. Who want to see the OJs? Who want to see people?
Wait, you said Peebo like Bryson?
He went all the way back there. Okay. Back there.
Wow. I mean, it. Don't give me. I don't mean to kill him. Is he still alive? Wow, Peebo Bryson. Oh my.
But that speaks to, and I'm saying that speaks to our, we
That
as a
speaks to your
people,
generation.
we've got to propel ahead. We got to propel ahead.
Come on now. Move
I
forward,
totally agree.
please. Come
I
up.
totally agree. She say, please. Please, I was like, wait, did he say Peebo Bryson? I mean,
He
like, you
said,
ain't talking about hiding a Bebo. You talking about Peebo. Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. But I totally agree. It is definitely time to accentuate the growth of the
Right,
indigenous people here in this country. And it's a lot of growth and a lot of things that have been accomplished. So with that being said, y'all, um, the last time we talked about the national stage, we noticed that the um person that's
hold on,
running the
Chris. Hold on, Chris. I got one more thing. You know
uh-huh
when he said turn the TV off, turn the TV off? Did
uh-huh
you? Well, you don't know this because you turned the TV off, but you know the orange
I did.
orangutan left at that time too, right? I'm just saying.
Wait,
He
I
didn't see
saw
the end diesel.
I saw it all. I said, but people with Alzheimer's cannot stay out all night.
right,
Them
Yeah,
s-
they have sundowners.
them sundowners wore his
right,
tail out. You understand me? Them sundown
right.
and the crazy part about it is I was looking when the camera would pan and you could see, I was like, you
He,
got the signs and symptoms
he
of
only went because he was trying to see them naked black bodies, but they was all covered up.
that, and I like the fact that everybody was covered up.
Right.
Yes, I'm telling you, it was
Hmm.
family friendly, one hundred
Very
percent.
family friendly. No popping
Yes,
of
but he
asses.
And I
served. So
really enjoyed. Yeah, I really enjoyed that he stuck to the new DEI protocol. That he stuck to merit.
didn't he though? Didn't
Based,
he though?
that he stuck to merit based on race. So,
Yeah.
see,
Yes.
now there we go. There we go. So that was my question of the from the national stage. It was DEI, and Perry, you hit it. You pulled it out, man. So like, my question is, have you all noticed that some of these individuals, um, black, white, and other, that voted for the person, the orange orangutan, and I could call him that, uh, because yeah, I can, and so voted for him, and now they're FAFO about how much DEI meant to them.
How it affects their lives.
Yeah, how it affects their everyday life. And
Yeah.
so our governor here in the state of Texas has also removed the state's DEI policies from all state businesses and buildings or whatever the case may be, all state policies. Okay. So my question to you all is, are you excited about individuals finding out that DEI has nothing to do with black and or brown skin?
Yes. I'm so
Expound on
excited.
that, Miss Cat. Expound on that. How excited are you for individuals to F around and find out that DEI, yeah, F around and find out that DEI has everything to do with everyone in this country, regardless to race, creed, or culture.
As we are talking about DEI, I am going to yield my time to Mr. Perry. Answer the question.
He almost choked. He almost choked.
I know, huh? DEI. Yeah, I would include you on this, my brother. Come
Yeah, you
on.
the DEI person on here. You the oldest one.
Right.
DEI.
No, as a I just think that yeah, it's good to uh what's the old saying? Uh bought sense is better than told,
All day long.
and so we just have, I think, this period of time of people getting some of that good old home training that we were blessed to have gotten so far, and maybe some who have forgotten.
It's a yeah. It's a few of
And,
them that
and it's
forgot.
unfortunate
You
that
know
we
what,
all have
Perry?
to.
I don't know that
Uh-huh.
they've forgotten. They didn't get the lesson good the first time. Because when you get the lesson, you don't repeat it.
I'm I'm trying to give them some grace, but
I ain't
I
got
agree.
now. DEI, I ain't got now.
What you say? DEI. We ain't
I
got nothing.
I mean, but
No grace.
if you really looked at that, uh, and as someone explained to me, the natural progression of it of DEI, they changed it because the acronym did not sound good. Because really, the process is diversity, inclusion, and then you get
And
the equity.
equity.
But that spells die.
Die.
So, so when we
Oh,
have
man.
these terms that we try to get creative about to bring people in, then sometimes we experience the actual demise. But I agree. From Trump on down, I mean, it just seems like I think we're allowing the foolish to have a microphone and have that microphone on high volume, and it's always on,
Always
and we
be
don't know how
careful
to
of that
deal with it.
open mic, huh?
Yeah. But I think that that's the one saving grace is that at some point maybe this medium that Trump has used, to his advantage will also, you know, be the medium of his downfall. And I don't promote his
Mhm.
downfall. I just say that the way things are going, it would not be. I'm not surprised if that does lead to this. But Kat, I'm just not sure about the. I used to be sure about the people I was around, but I'm concerned.
Oh, you have to be. We have to be concerned. But you know what? If we got the lesson the first time and don't have to repeat it, then we know how to survive this. Okay? We know how to make it
Right.
through.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cuz we've been
Right.
diverse. We had to be. Okay? We had to be inclusive of everybody
Right.
cuz we was taught to share. Huh? Yeah. And so, and we were
Right.
taught to share
Right.
equally.
Yeah.
So we know how to make it. Okay, but they
Right.
forget what it means to them in their
Right.
everyday life. Like wheelchair Willie,
Right.
you know,
I mean, and
Chris
just to
Point.
bring it, and just to bring it locally. I mean, just looking at that locally, that same mentality has I think been sort of the anchor that has kept Beaumont where it is. The inability you know,
Including.
to truly embrace that diversity, inclusion, and equity. And I don't just mean that between blacks, whites, Hispanics, and Beaumont. I mean I'm talking about uh the diversity, the equity, and inclusion between North End, the Pearl Orchard.
I'm gonna say this: in my business, I have had the privilege of serving
The hate.
uh, people from all different places, and some people that come to our area have told me, and more people than not have told me of the injustices they've received here, not just from the pink people, but also from people of their own race. And all I can say to them in that moment, because you don't tear down the house, okay, so to
Right.
say. So what I say to them is, welcome to Texas. Finally, I had one person who was here for quite some time, and I had the privilege of serving her. She said, I finally understand what you mean by welcome to Texas, because she's never experienced what she's experienced here. She's never experienced it anywhere else that she's ever been before. Welcome to Texas.
Man. So I know I got booted. I got booted out when y'all were touching on
Welcome
some of
back.
these DEI topics. I know, right? Welcome back. Um, but yeah. So I did catch the latter part of Perry and beginning part of Miss Cat. Um, when it came to DEI on you know people that didn't understand the totality of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Um, and so one of the things that you just said, Miss Cat, that sticks out to me also is how is it that our governor has removed DEI from all state policy, and he is somebody that's bound to a chair.
A recipient. A recipient.
Hmm.
He is definitely a recipient of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And being that the governor, our governor, has removed DEI from the policies of the state of Texas, I think we should go to Austin, remove the ramps, and let him govern at the bottom of the steps. Because,
Right.
sir, you have just removed policies that govern for you.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make
What's
sense to
good for the
me
goose
when
is
we
good for
have
the
Right.
gander.
governments.
Right. Remove. Right. Remove the ramp. Remove the ramp at the steakhouse.
Exactly. Remove them all, not just that one. If you want to get in there, you got to go to where they do the docks, sir. You got to go to where they do, yeah,
Yeah.
transport and where they come and drop off the truck. You go to the
Right.
back where or the bottom, and then they let them put you in there. Yeah, because
Put him on a lift.
that, yeah, on the
Yeah.
outside if you want, or like I said, have
Right.
somebody pay you somebody
Right. And
to lend you back
the
with it.
handicap spaces. So
Right,
your van
right.
gonna have to park
All of
way in the
that
back
is
of the parking lot.
DEI. Exactly. Yeah, you park way back there. You park and better yet, Miss Cat, no, a lift is DEI. You take the stairs because elevators is only there for those with disabilities. That's what elevators were created for. So tilt him back and roll him either up and or down them steps. That's what you gonna do.
Right.
But you got to hire you somebody out your own pocket. You better not find no job for that. You better not, cause you done sent people on an all expense paid trip at the behest
Right.
of the Texans, tax-paying Texans, and some of these Texans have never even been outside of their city and or county area. Make that make sense, Mister
Right.
Governor, Mister I want to remove DEI. But again, they led a lot of people to believe that diversity, equity, and inclusion consisted of black people. If we remove DEI, we could take black people off the playing field, and that's not necessarily the case.
Right.
And one of the things I did catch was we've been here before. This is nothing new to us. We were never really proponents of diversity, equity, and or inclusion. Thus, if we were, we would not have the Civil Rights Act or
Right.
had to do a Civil Rights Act, right? If we
We are
were
not
included,
immigrants either.
right? If we were included, now we're gonna touch on that too. If we were included, then we wouldn't have had to deal with black codes or black
Right.
laws. We wouldn't have had to deal with Jim Crow and or segregation or integration for that matter. But yeah, I noticed that a lot of YT women FAFO'd and realized that, oh my, I'm diversity, equity, and inclusion too. Yes, ma'am, you are, especially as a minority group. You, ma'am, is
Right.
you. Yes, ma'am. Black, white, and indifferent, ma'ams. All of y'all are considered to be
Right.
diversity, equity, inclusion. Get this. Guess what else? Poor white men. Poor. I didn't say white men. I said
Mm-hmm.
poor white men. You are diversity, equity, and inclusion. And y'all messed around, especially if you're a farmer. Especially if you're a farmer. It's so many farmers that found out diversity, equity, and inclusion included them. It's so many
Mm.
farmers that they were like, well, let's freeze everything and until it froze their pockets. Now you have individuals that's asking, where's the black community when all of this is going? We over there like this here.
Watching it
Right.
like it's on TV.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
And
I,
asking,
I I heard
where
Elon Musk
are
say.
we?
I heard
You said what?
Elon Musk say in his interview today at least one true statement. He said, "You are getting what you have voted for."
That's right.
But the thing about it is,
They didn't know what they were voting for, but he said, "You are getting what you have voted for."
That's the second time that statement has been repeated because the press secretary told him that last
Right.
week or week before
Right.
last. She said he stood right here and told you what he was gonna do.
correct, but y'all effed around and found out.
Right.
Believing that the things that he was imposing was only to a certain demographic or and group of people. Now, mind y'all, on the national level, birthright citizenship, that the eradication of it, right? That has stopped on the federal level. They can't.
Hmm.
Judges was like, don't do that because I don't think you really know what you're doing, Mr. Orange Orangutan.
Right.
Mr. Orange Orangutan is an immigrant, y'all. And the removal of birthright citizenship includes Mr. Orange Orangutan as well.
And his wife.
Neither one of his parents are from the United States of America. Neither one of his
Right.
parents are. So, technically, sir, and if I'm not mistaken, both of your parents were illegally in this country until probably the 80s, if not the 70s or something
Right.
like that. It was recent. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
um, Mr. Sir, you go ahead and remove that. Me
Yeah.
and many others that are like me that knows our identity and our indigenous identity to this country, to this land. We've been waiting for y'all to. We've been waiting, especially after we allowed you to establish yourself in this country with the 1777 treaties of the Aborigine, indigenous people of this land. When we start
Who was
seeing y'all effing up our country, regardless to what happened in the past, when we see y'all start effing up our country and you think you're just going to omit the 1777 peace treaty between the indigenous people of this land, that means all y'all got to go. All y'all got to go. Because before 1777, there was no Constitution of the United States of America.
that's DEI.
Or they don't know that they here on DEI though. They don't know
Right.
that.
Right.
They don't know that.
Well, but
Next thing
that's
I
what
want
you
to talk
get when
about,
you get
y'all.
a. But
Go
that's
ahead,
what you
Perry.
get when you get a country run by people who made C's and D's in history.
Man, it's one man that said something that should aggravate anybody. One of his cabinet picks. He said the United States should be led by nothing but white men.
I
Yep.
didn't hear that. Who
Appreciate your
said
It
that?
should be
honesty.
he said it should be governed by white men. And I'm
Wow.
like,
Hmm?
you don't remember the white men y'all wrote about? Oh, y'all, even white folks was killing off white folks. What happened to John F.
Right.
Kennedy?
White man killed him.
Right.
What happened to the entire Kennedy family? Like, what happened to Ronald Reagan?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a lot.
John
It's a
was
lot
shot.
that I think individuals that are not politically astute or policy aware that messed around and voted for somebody that they didn't think was the things that they were talking about was going to affect them until it knocked directly on their door. Look at the Hispanic population. Some of them, like during interviews, said, "Oh yeah, I voted for him, and I can't wait till he deport all my family." You know, you leaving too, ma'am.
Right. Well,
What you
because
thought
they
you was not going?
foolishly believe that because their family was here before immigration and that their family had generations that they were somehow excluded. And as I keep saying, whenever you throw out a net, you don't just get what you are looking for, you get everything else. So,
Right,
you know,
right, right, right.
Everything.
Shrimp,
The
crab,
14th
you know,
Amendment
you
will
might
not
have a
snail.
chance.
protect
You
you.
might have a chance if you're a dolphin, but if you the boot, you just getting caught.
That's it.
And we
See,
got some boots out here getting caught. They don't know they boots.
Hey man, they wiggling though. They wiggling.
Nobody
They
care
like
about
spinners
boots.
when they first came out, brother. They thought he was still spinning. He's
Right.
sitting still, but no, man. I do believe that on all aspects of humanity here represented here in the United States of America and or North, yeah, I'm gonna just say United States of America. Um, there is a great sense of ignorance when it comes to knowing the law, following the law, moving in your space, moving in your human space, right? As a human, um, I, I mean, it's so many liberties that we have relinquished as citizens of the human race. And with that being said,
Yeah.
understanding we have an election that's coming in May here in the city of Beaumont. How would you relay information to our younger, middle, and older populations about what's happening nationally and how to buffer that from happening locally? And a lot of people said you can't, you there's nothing you could do. But we have home rule here in the state of Texas. Um, we have home rule here in the city of Beaumont. So, um, how would you, what would you do in your community to transcend all age groups? Like Perry says, some of our elders that don't even know that they're elders, some of our seniors that don't even know that they're being looked up to. How would you convey a collaborative effort to a body that's not aware of their own civil liberties? Oh, don't rush.
I just knew you was gonna call my name though again, because you always call me first, right?
Well, we set the tone. Ladies first.
Yeah. So
But
you
but
know
we
what?
noticed
I'm
what you
going to
did.
keep
And
it
look,
simple.
and you
I
use
noticed what you
look,
did.
and you
I was
use
about
your
to
one
say she used her
pass
DEI
on the
pass. She
last
used her
question.
DEI pass. She ain't got no more.
Oh, it's three of us on here, but I'm gonna take this one because I'm gonna keep it very simple. All we have to do, we, is start a conversation.
I totally
And
agree
you
with
can
you.
start a conversation with a young person or a middle-aged person or an older person.
Hmm.
Start a conversation and talk about it.
I
Talk
totally
about what
agree.
you want to see.
Yeah,
Talk about, ask
yeah,
them their opinions. Talk about it. Communication rules the nation.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
And
I
that's
agree.
simple.
yeah, yeah,
I agree. Talk
yeah.
about it.
I agree. And to piggyback on that, I would say conversation, and let's pick our battles, because I think there are some really small battles that we can win. And as the old hymn says, each victory will give you some other to
Yeah.
win. I, I don't think our people have been accustomed to seeing some
Right,
victories
right.
lately. And I mean that really on the very local front, that if we can just do the things that we can do, as Kat say, let's talk about it. And if we talk about it and we can get to some discussion about it, then we can
Hmm.
do it.
That's right.
But I think as Kent, going back to Kendrick, who was talking about turn it off, it wasn't just the TV. I think I think it's this engagement and our uh we just enamored with social media, but we don't use social media to its advantage or see it as a tool
Mm-hmm.
for us. In fact, we don't even see it as a tool. We just use it
Oh my God.
and just use it. It's like a toothbrush. It has no. I mean, it's a part of our daily, but we really don't understand the significance of it until I guess maybe we
Right.
got
Right.
dentures and we found out. Oh yeah, you
Improper
really weren't
use.
using your toothbrush
Improper
properly.
use.
But 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 this is where we are, and I think locally, that helps us. Like they say, I mean, what's the best way to eat an elephant?
One bite
One
at a
bite at
Mm-hmm.
a
time.
One
time.
bite at a time.
That if we're going to win something at the state level, in order for us to do that, we got to start winning some things locally and some things in our community that we can just do that really just don't take a fight. It just take us being active and doing something about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We
I
got we
totally
got
agree.
we got the north end, we got the south end, we got the Pale Orchard. There's nothing stopping us from doing anything in those communities. They were ours
Right.
from the beginning.
Facts.
And just because we
Facts.
know the just because we know white tea because of their history, we do know that if we start building it, oh, it's gonna draw their attention.
Yes, sir.
Because whatever we
Especially
do
when
draws their attention.
right. 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 I'm gonna have to see about uh getting Miss Cat back up in here.
And I think that starts even with us having this conversation here and
Mm-hmm.
beginning to say, okay, how do we grow this? I mean, I know folk may like listening to the conversation, but hey, join in. Where's your voice? Where's your collaborative effort?
Right. I totally agree. Especially when it comes to, like you said, engaging on the local side, right? Engaging awesome. Engaging on the local side um when it comes to just edifying people about this, that, and the other. Hey, you have access to this, you have access to that, or you had access to this, you had access to that. And I like one of the things Miss Cass said was like, start the conversation, began the conversation. There's no relationship that has began without a
Hmm.
conversation. And
Right.
so we definitely have to, as people, that's inclined to want better, not only for ourselves but for our community. If we are inclined to want that, then we have to collectively talk. And
Hmm.
if there's somebody that's willing to put themselves, I guess, like in a place, or say, I got this better for you, or hey, let me represent you, we need to be the ones to present that plan. We need to be the ones
Hmm.
that present that platform, instead of waiting for a candidate and or individual to say, hey, this is what I got for y'all. And when you open the box, you notice that this ain't nothing. I could have did this better,
Right.
but I could have did better than this myself, right? And
Right.
so building those generational gaps, like I heard, uh crossing knowledge barriers, right? I don't know stuff like that. Okay, well, let me bring you into this space so you could become to know, right? Or I've never heard of that before. Well, let me enlighten you, let me show it to you, let's experience this together, right?
Right.
And so one of the things I definitely would like for us to do in these coming months and days and weeks, leading up to May 5th, but not stopping at May, not stopping in May. I would I listeners and viewers alike, I challenge you to engage with someone or some others that are younger than you. Find information that you don't know that you can ask them. Bring them information that you know that they don't know. Don't assume they don't know. Bring them information that they may not know. Bring them to places that they have not been. Show them things that they have not seen, and we will do the same for you. Now, what you're
Right.
doing is you're building relationship, you're building a retainable relationship, you're building a resilient relationship, one that will last even if somebody comes and say, "Oh, let me tell you what she said," or "Let me tell you what they said." Well, I already know what they said because we talk, we converse often. So they didn't tell you nothing that they didn't tell me,
Hmm.
right? And so that's, I feel, one of the only ways locally, because Perry, you said something that should really stick out to individuals. You cannot make any national noise, and your local representation is in shit shambles. There's no
Hmm.
way, shape, form, and or fashion possible that you will be able to make an equitable stance. And on even on the state level, if your local city, school, and county is not represented by you, but maybe
Hmm.
6 to 9%, maybe, a small group of individuals who um, aren't even rightfully representing individuals, right? They some are opportunistic, some, really want it. But at the same time, at what cost do we as the citizens have to pay for you to speak out for us? Especially when we haven't given you a plan or a platform that comes from our community. We haven't seen you
Hmm.
in our community, you know? I don't know if Miss Cat is stuck. Miss Cat, can you hear us?
I don't know.
She might be stuck
She
in
was
the.
saying her camera was.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we're about to wrap it up, y'all. I definitely thank y'all for hopping in, viewing with us, listening to us. Again, we're working on bringing us all together collectively, even maybe even have a call in number that we'll have some engagement with. Have you listen in live, speak live to our listeners and viewers. We do have next Tuesday, we will have a guest. Um, I'm still trying to confirm that guest, but um, please stay tuned. We're definitely looking forward to doing some great things here at the Roundtable Talk under the Knowledge is Power podcast live. Again, make sure that you are tuning in on Tuesdays and Sundays with the Roundtable Talk and the Knowledge is Power podcast live with Tony Renfro. Again, y'all have a good evening. Thank y'all for listening. God bless.
Good evening.